Hey everybody, it's Debbie and I'm here with Morgan, and today I'm going to show you how to do a cut crease eye look. So it's more of a definition of an eye look where you put a little bit of concealer, or you can use a cream eyeshadow as well if you want on the lid, and you get a little bit more definition. You can do it with really bright colors, you can do it more neutral. Today we're going to do a real neutral eye on her, and I'm going to do like a beginner class for someone who's never done it before. So I'm not going to do a wingtip eye like I did last time. So this will be a very basic cut crease eye tutorial for you. So Morgan's beautiful, so it's really easy to work with her eyes. And right now she has nothing on. And so I'll start with her eyes, and I'll show you the cut crease eye look, and then I'll go ahead and apply a little foundation and concealer and a little powder and bronzer, and we'll be done for the day. I hope you enjoy the video, and here we go. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
So first thing I'm going to do is apply a little bit of eye primer on her eye with a concealer brush. I always do that. I use my hand as a palette because it's easy for me. So we're going to put the primer all over her eye, from her lash all the way up to her brow. Again, like I've told you, I like to do it because it's like a canvas for me. The only time I think it's necessary, like have to do it, is if you have an oily lash where you notice that your eyeshadow comes off easily. If not, it's not absolutely necessary. So when you're doing a cut crease eye, you want to start with a really light color underneath the brow. And I'm going to use this Anastasia palette today. It's their Modern Renaissance one. It's got a lot of fun colors in it, but I'm going to use the neutral tones out of it. And I'm going to start off with, it's called Tempera. I want to look at it as Tempera, but it's Tempera. And it's a really, really light beige color, and that's going to go on the brow, underneath the brow. And you want to use kind of like a fluffy brush for this, but not too fluffy. Kind of like this texture. This is one from Trish McElvoy, and I love it. So remember I told you before in the videos that the denser the brush, the more pigment you get. This is a medium density. So we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of the light color, always tap off the excess, and we're going to apply it right underneath her brow. And that's going to give her highlight. One thing about doing the cut crease eye look, it's the most important thing about it is blending. Blending, blending, blending. This is a good look for somebody who wants, a little bit of more dramatic look than normal. But you don't have to make it too dramatic if you use a real natural color. But if you want to go with something really high pigmentation, you can get a really like going out evening look with that kind of like magenta or orange in the crease. So after I have the light underneath the brow, I'm going to come back in with a medium tone brown right here. And this one is called Raw Sienna. Actually, I'm going to use burnt orange instead. I'm going to try that one on her. It's like her pretty hair. So we're going to go right in here, the same brush, and I'm going to go right in the crease back and forth until I get the right kind of pigmentation that I want. And it's okay if the color goes down onto the lid, because like I said, we're going to use a concealer, or like I told you, you don't have to use a concealer, you can use a cream eyeshadow, and that's going to go on the lid to brighten up the eye. So I'm just going back and forth, blending it really well. And another thing about the cut crease is you want dimension. So when you're looking at someone's eye, I did one on myself today. Here, it can zoom in. You're getting that definition look between the light and the dark. And that's why it's called a cut crease. So you're getting that definite cut line. So I'm bringing in that color, and then I'm going to go back in with a darker tone. And this one in this palette is called Cyprus Umber. And I'm going to switch it out to a fluffier brush because I'm going with a darker pigment, and I want some depth, but I don't want really dark. So again, like I told you, the lighter, the fluffier the brush, the less pigmentation you get. So I'm going to switch it out to a little bit lighter brush, tap it on the darker brown, tap off the excess, and then come right in here and go right in with that umber color. Again, back and forth. I'm going to have you turn this way just a little bit. And blend. Once you get those two creased colors blended in really well. Okay, open. That looks really good. Go a little bit higher up. Close. Again, like I said, it's all about blending. All right. Now I want to go back in with that light color again on top. The first one I started. Because if you get a little bit of dark up above, that's okay. Come back with your light and just sweep it away. Now we're going to come into where it shows that cutting I was talking about. You want to take a concealer. I like to use like a long wear concealer. I'll use a Smashbox one, or you can use the MAC long Pro Wear long concealer. But today I'm going to use a Nars. Soft Matte Concealer by Nars. It's in a pot, and you want to use a really small concealer brush, really tiny one for this, because you're going to apply it to the lid, and you want to get it all the way down into the corner, all the way up across the lid, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a swoop outward to give her that little bit of cut, like a little bit of a lift. And that's why when you bring in the liner, you don't need to do the cat eye look, because I'm going to have that lightness coming out. So I'm going to apply that now. Take a little bit of concealer on your brush, come right across her eye. By doing this, it's giving her more definition, but then I'm going to apply that light shadow that I did earlier underneath her brow on top of this. Now, in my past videos, when I tell you how to do a cat eye, a lot of people say they don't know how to do that swoop, that they can't do it right. And I always say come in backwards. So instead of trying to swoop it up, come in on the back side and do it. So same thing with the concealer. I'm going to come backwards like this on her eye, and I'm going to tap it in like that, and then fill it in. Much easier. There you go. So it looks like that when open. All right, and we'll do the other side. And you see how I had the darker eyeshadow down too low because I was blending it, but it doesn't matter because the concealer is covering it up. One of the other things I like about this look is it can be used for daytime or nighttime. Again, like I said, you can use different colors, more dramatic. You can add sparkle to it if you're going out. Okay, open. That looks good. Then I'm going to take a little bit more and come in on the back side again to give her that little bit of a wingtip. Take a little bit of brown underneath. So I'm going to take that dark brown that I used the second time, and I'm going to take a little bit on with those smudger brushes, and I think this one is by Nars. It's a little smudger brush, like tiny dents. Just take a tiny little bit of that powder eyeshadow, and we're going to use it as a liner underneath her eye. Go ahead and look up, and we're going to just tap it. I'm just kind of blending that out. There you go. Then I want to come back in with a little bit darker, like a dark charcoal black. A little bit of that color, and I'm going to do it on the outside, so it's going to draw her eye backwards, and just a tiny bit right out here, because I'm going to use a black eyeliner on the top, and I want it to match. See how I did that? The one thing about doing makeup, you'll see all kinds of makeup all over the internet, and it's just about having fun. Playing with it. I have a lot of my customers say, I can't do it. I'm like, yes, you can. It's just fun, and practice makes perfect. Oh yeah, that looks great. Okay, let me get here. All right, so I noticed right in here she needs a little bit more brown, so I'm going to go back in with it. Close. And do that smudging or blending. Now we're going to go and get the liquid liner. You can either use
the girl's worst friend.
You can either use a gel liner in a pot with a brush, or you can use a felt tip liner. I like to use felt tip liners only because they're more controllable, and you can get a thin line or a thick line. And I've told you in my past videos that I like to hold it between these two fingers because I feel like I have a lot more control with it. And I always start in the center by the nose, and I pull halfway out, and then I go back to the end outside eye, and I bring it in, and I meet in the middle, and then I kind of even it out from there. Start thin. If you want thicker, then you can come back and do a second line across. The other thing is, if somebody has a close set eye, like I've showed you before in my video, you can make the liner on the outside thicker and thinner in the middle, and that's going to draw the eye outward. If you have a far set eyes, like if your eyes are spaced apart, thank you, spaced apart, then you want to do the opposite. You want to bring the liner thicker in the middle and then thinner on the out. So it's an illusion, just like magic. So I'm going to go ahead and take the eyeliner, and I'm going to place it right here. Draw it across, halfway like that, open, and then come back the opposite way. And I'm only going to go to the end of her lid today because I already took the concealer out. So we're going to see the cut there. Don't open. And you don't want them to open immediately right away because it's wet.
I opened my eye super slow that last time.
Yeah, you don't want to get black up there and have to start all over again. When I first started doing liquid liner years ago, it scared me. I would have anxiety. If somebody would come into my work and they go, I need a cat eye liquid liner, I'm like, ugh. So again, it's just practicing and it becomes easy. Now, if you get your liner up too far, or if it gets a little smudgy, because nobody's perfect, and you're going to come back with that small concealer brush with the concealer again, I'm going to go right over the top of it. Close your eyes and blend it out. So now what you're going to do after this is you're going to come back with that really light shadow that I did in the beginning underneath her brow, and I'm going to put it on top of the concealer. So it's going to stick. Got my glasses because I'm blind. that light color again. It's going to go right on top of the concealer. Close your eyes. So now we've got Morgan's eye completely done, except for we're going to need to add mascara. Go ahead and close your eyes. See the definition there in the cut crease? So you have the light, you have the medium to dark shadow, you have the light, and then you've got, it kind of comes out and extends outward. And then you have her liner. Go ahead and open. And then down below I did the brown, and then I came out with a little bit black, like smoky, to kind of make it connect together. So now we're going to put on mascara, and I'm using Extended Play by MAC. It's got a curly wand. It looks like this. Look. And when you're putting mascara on, it's good to get down to the root and just kind of wiggle it up. And Morgan has good lashes. That's easy. There you go. Looks good. I like to comb the top of the lash too, especially because she's got really light lashes. And then after we're done with the mascara on the top and the bottom, I will do a little concealer, foundation, and we will be ready. Close your eyes. Open. Okay, look up. Put your head down just a little bit. Head down, chin. Looks good. And the more that you practice doing this, the better you'll get, just like doing, oops, her lashes went up too high.
I felt it when you said look up. I'm sorry.
That's why we have Q-tips. Okay, there we go.
My dad blessed me with long eyelashes.
Yes. Now I'm going to take a Nars concealer. This is a creamy concealer, and this color's in vanilla. And because residue can drop down, I like to do my foundation and concealer after I do my eyeshadow for that reason, so I don't have to go back over and put another second coat of concealer on. So I'll come underneath here, apply the concealer. Concealer brush, blend it out, go right up underneath here, and that's going to sweep away any of that eyeshadow that had maybe fell down, trickled down onto her cheek. Look up. And then I like to come in with my finger and use the warmth of my finger to melt the concealer in after I've blended it a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to, before I do her foundation, I'm going to take a little bit of a beige colored eyeliner and put it in her waterline to also give her a little bit more pop down below. It's like this. And I think this one is by Estee Lauder. Oh, this one's by Lancôme, and it's called, ooh, I can't read it. Nude Silk. And you're going to put it right in her waterline. Go ahead, put your chin down and then look up. And I'm going to go right here in her waterline. Fill it in. See how that gives her a little bit more definition on her eye? And if you have any redness in your eye, it really helps to take that away. There you go. Looks good. Okay, now we're going to also use Nars with my beauty blender here. We're going to use the Nars Sheer Glow. This is a great foundation for somebody who wants cover but not too much, and it also has a little bit of glow to it. Put taps on here. Morgan has cute freckles, so her freckles still should show through with this particular foundation, and it also gives you a real nice radiant look. And if you have oily skin, it's great for people with oily skin
And dry skin.
and dry skin. It's kind of a combination.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very popular foundation. I use brushes and beauty blenders depending on the type of foundation. Some foundations go on way better with brushes and others go on better with a beauty blender. This one goes on with either. So you can use a beauty blender or you can use a brush, whatever your preference is on that. And then I'm going to come back with my spotlight, which I've showed in my past video by Charlotte Tilbury. And basically I had a couple people message me. It's called Beauty Light Wand and it's the easy highlighter, but the color is Spotlight. So what you want to do with this is come down right underneath here, put a little bit of color there, and another little bit of color right here. And then I can take your beauty blender, but I like to use my finger and again just melt it in underneath her eye. It gives her nice brightness. Makes you look more awake, Morgan.
If only it could make me feel awake.
And like I said before, for more mature women like me, I like to use it on my forehead. I use it on my laugh lines, I call them, my smile lines. And we're going to come back with some powder and be done. Morgan, a little bit of pressed powder, Radiance pressed powder from her. This I think is also from Estee Lauder. This is a great powder. It's a translucent powder. It's a blur finish. So it's really, really good for people who have pores or people who have fine lines. Great for if you have oily skin or dry skin, doesn't matter, but it really blurs out and it doesn't look like you have powder on. And you're done. So this is what a cut crease eye looks like. They're fun to do. Again, you can look up different colors to do with it. If you want a really dramatic look, I've seen them with black and gray and reds, magentas, all colors. But this, go ahead and rub your lips together. This is more of a natural look. You can do every day. Look into the camera. Beautiful model. Take your hair down. And Morgan has, I'm gonna close your eyes. Can you show it to them? Close your eyes so they can see. So that's what a cut crease eye looks like. Hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you guys have a great day. See you next time. Remember to like, share, and give me comments and subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.